Hello everyone, I'm coming at you with a new video. What I'm going to be talking about today is actually something that happened in my city. I usually wouldn't talk about things like this, but it happened in my city, and I've seen the video tons of times on my timeline, and different organizations have been trying to kind of band together to get something done about this. And yeah, so basically there's this video circulating around with these group of people known as Black Hebrew Israelites. Well, that's what we call them, but they don't call themselves that. They just call themselves Hebrew Israelites. But there was a event in our city called Gay Day, and it was kind of like just a festival for just people to meet up, homosexuals, straight people, bisexual, whatever. Anybody that was, that wanted to meet up and kind of get together and have a day of inclusion and acceptance and all of that. And they showed up there, and they were kind of taunting the gay people that were there. And at some point in the video, a guy makes a threat that, that the woman in the video might be raped, or that, God said that he was supposed to rape her, and, pretty crazy things. But before I get into the actual video, I'm going to try to give a little bit of background. Okay, so the Black Hebrew Israelites, I'll put it in quotations. The Black Hebrew Israelites usually meet in bigger cities. So it's odd to see them in such a small city like Grand Rapids, because usually they're in places like Detroit, New York, Atlanta. You see them, in the larger, the larger cities, where they meet and congregate and go out on the street corners and yell at people. Well, anyway, so they believe that they are the original Jews, and that Jews are not actually Jews. They just pretending to be Jews, or are under this Jewish facade, and that they're the original chosen people. So, and let me just say that this particular group is like the Westboro Baptist Church of Hebrew Israelites. Like, they're extremists, and all people that believe that way, that they're Hebrew Israelites, that Black and Latinos and everybody are Hebrew Israelites, doesn't think like these guys think. They're a small section of very, very extreme, out there groups that, just hate white people and just want to scream and cuss and yell. But really, a lot of the Hebrew Israelites, they're very biblical, so they don't drink, and they don't, smoke, and they certainly don't cuss, because, that's against the Bible, so they follow the Bible to the T. These guys are just kind of like doing whatever, and nothing can be done about that, just like we can't do anything about Westboro Baptist Church going out and picketing people's funerals. These people are not Christians. Hebrew Israelites don't claim any religion, and they don't consider being a Hebrew Israelite a religion. They consider it being a nationality. So I saw a lot of people posting, these Christians, blah, blah, blah. These people are not Christians. They don't even like Christians. They probably hate Christians more than they hate gay people, because they believe that Christians worship a white Jesus. So they don't like Christians. They don't practice Christianity. They really don't practice any religion. But I have seen some people claim to be Hebrew Israelite that practice Islam, and I've also seen some people claim to be Hebrew Israelites that claim to be Christians, but in most of the I'd say that probably 99.9% of the time, if they are claiming to be Hebrew Israelites, they seriously dislike Christianity. So, just with that, given that little bit of background into it, because I'm already familiar with this group, just because I like to look at different kinds of religious groups and different kind of things like that. So I know a lot of the small sects of groups that a lot of other people haven't experienced, and I think this is the first time that the gay community has come, in Grand Rapids at least, face to face with a group like this. So to them it's something new, and it kind of freaks them out a little bit, but this is something that the black community and other communities have been experiencing for a long time. And so it's not as shocking to us as it would be someone who hasn't had to deal with these kind of people. But like I said, there's over hundreds of videos on YouTube of people that have encountered and had these same kind of interactions with these people. So it's not new. And the FBI knows about them. The FBI was investigating them for a long time. They still look at them as being like a radical extremist group that, that could possibly be a threat to the United States. So, like I said, they're really not anything new to a lot of people. So I wanted to talk about the video, and the thing is this, like, people are calling for this man to be arrested because they're saying that he, threatened this woman with rape. And I really hate to do videos like this because I always feel like I'm defending the scumbag, and I'm not trying to defend the scumbag, but I also don't want people to get so worked up that they just accuse without taking a look at what was really happening here. Now, the man did say that, there was a time when women had to sit at home and shut up, and they weren't allowed to do anything. And if they were running around like they do now, they would have got raped. Now, first of all, that's disgusting and just male chauvinist crap at its finest. But I don't see where in him saying that he was threatening the woman with rape. He did say there will be a day when women won't be able to just walk around again. I think he said that day is going to come again. And she was like, well, when's that day going to come? And I don't know that he answered that question or not, but he was just like, one day you're going to be one of my possessions. And then he said that the Lord said that we're going to do it. And she steps closer to the fence, because she asked him, where does it say that in the Bible? Because he said that it said that in the Bible. So she asked him, where does it say that at? And so she steps closer to the fence for him to read her, the Bible verse. And he read a verse in Isaiah that had nothing to do with what he was talking about. And it said that women will be ravished. And he took the women would be ravished as in he was going to be able to run around raping everybody. Which, that verse had nothing to do with that. And no, you're not going to be running around raping everybody. Because how could... you can't look at the image of Christ and then say in the same sense that God is going to let you run around raping everybody. That doesn't make any sense, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that a lot of gay organizations here have taken this video and just ran with it, and I don't know what else they said on that day, and I'm sure that some people were victimized by what he said, but in this case, I find it odd that the woman would move closer to someone that you're threatened by. these men were standing behind a fence. The woman was standing on the other side of the fence. In order for her to even have a conversation with them, she would have had to approach them to have a conversation. Now, I don't know why you would approach anyone who is screaming hate and, spewing just awful dirtiness out of their mouths to have any kind of conversation with them, because obviously they're not sane and they're not, they're just not all there to have a conversation. Like, there's no reason for you to approach them. And I'm not saying that because she approached them, she deserved to have what was said to her said, because what was said to her was disgusting. And nobody should have to listen to stuff like that. But once he said that, she should have walked away. There's no reason to stand there and argue with them. And there's definitely don't ever step closer to a person that makes a threat like that. Like, don't ever continue to engage that person or be around that person, because you never know what they're going to do. You don't taunt people like that, because obviously that guy is completely crazy. He could have put out a gun, or, it wouldn't have mattered anyway if he had a gun, but he could have, stabbed her through the fence or anything. But I didn't hear any clear case of a man threatening to rape a woman. He said a lot of things that were like, the Bible says that I'm going to have the right to rape you someday. That's what I heard him say. So my feelings of this is that a lot of people took this for publicity purposes. They took it for attention for organizations. Well, they took it as something to kind of shed more light on hate and stuff that's happening to the gay community. But also, like I said, the people that were saying that these people were Christians, I think it's inappropriate to just assume, and I know that Christians have persecuted gay people for a long time, or have treated gay people badly, but it's really inappropriate to just assume and then further that tension between gay people and Christians, because we're trying to fight for the same cause, and we're trying to help each other out, and we're trying to be there for each other, and we're trying to all have equality. And also, the original video was taken down, and I'm pretty sure that I know why, but you scroll down the video and it's all of these just nigger this and nigger that and nigger. Okay, the guys didn't have the right to do what they did, and they didn't have the right to discriminate and be bigots, but that also doesn't give you the right to perpetrate racism either, or leave racist comments. And if it was people in the gay community leaving racist comments, I don't understand that, because if you're trying to talk about inclusion and tolerance and love and all of that stuff, why would you fight bigotry with racism? How does that make sense? But the original video was taken down and a new video was put up, and hopefully the new video, the comments will be a little bit more monitored and they won't allow, the stuff to go on that was in the other video. But that was basically just my little input into what's going on and my little analysis of it. Not everybody is going to like what I have to say, and I'm okay with that. But I wanted to just kind of give my honest opinion, because a lot of people have been sending me this, and those are my thoughts on what happened. Thanks. Bye.